So whenever you're ready, everyone, you can start coming into your relaxation pose, whether that's staying seated and practicing some mindful breaths, or if you'd like to lay all the way down onto your back into Shavasana, you can take that position now. And just noticing as we take ourselves into that starting position, that this is our opportunity to just check in with ourselves. If our brain is just racing around, trying to find a way to slow those thoughts or to tuck the nagging feelings aside for just the next 40 minutes or so that we're able to really practice and stay attentive, focusing on our breathing, our body, how every position feels, trying to give that headspace just a little bit of a reset. And doing that, we'll find the right mindset, trying to find some calm, some rest and relaxation. So now that we've spent a little bit of time just noticing how we're feeling, what's going on in the head, let's focus a little bit more specifically now on our body. Maybe we're laying still, maybe we're kind of wiggling around, fidgeting, taking some stretches. At this point, I will ask us and invite everyone to just find stillness. Noticing how it feels if we're laying down on the mat with our legs extended straight, or maybe we prefer to have them bent today. Noticing how it feels to let them go. Same thing with the arms and the shoulders. Where have we chosen to have them? Typically, we'll have them out by our sides with our palms raised to the ceiling. So as we find this position, we're checking in with our body, scanning from feet all the way up in through the legs, the hips, the backs, the arms, the neck. Spending as much time at each section of our body as we need to. Noticing if there's anything we may need to spend a little bit of extra time on today. Perhaps reflecting on anything we've done over the last week that's maybe affected a section of our body or a muscle, any tightness or limitation through the range of motion that we may need to address and be cognizant of. Now working on our breathing, intentional inhale through the nose, followed by that intentional exhale through the nose. Full complete breaths in and out. Just noticing how that feels. Allowing our diaphragm to expand with each inhale. And notice that full, complete exhale as the diaphragm contracts, coming down lower. Very nice. Now, regardless of what position we've chosen to start our practice, let's take that big inhale and reach our arms long above head. Nice big stretch. Maybe we thread them together. Maybe we just extend. Oh, notice how that feels. Maybe we stretch over a little bit to one side, maybe the other. What's going on through the shoulders, the upper back, the rib cage? And we can release our arms down. We're going to take our time now and just bring our knees into our chest. So if you're still sitting, I'll ask that we lay down with the rest of our class here, drawing those knees into the chest, giving ourselves a giant hug, and just starting to rock side to side. Kneading out any knots in the lower back, noticing any tightness. Now, as we continue to hold our knees to our chest, just keep hugging onto those legs, give them a squeeze and start to roll our ankles. Whether you've been in boots all weekend or if you've been sitting still, not really moving through your feet, they're likely a little bit stiff. So we'll go ahead and encourage blood flow Get those feet moving, give them some blood and circulation. Taking our time, let's bring those feet all the way to the mat. Now keeping our knees bent. The heels are coming in nice and close to the body as we prepare for some glute bridges. Arms will come down by our sides. Shoulders roll into the mat. We zip up through our abdominal muscles. Taking an inhale, squeeze the bum as we lift the hips. Exhale, slowly lowering down. We'll do this a few times. Inhale, lifting the hips up. Feet are flat on the floor. Exhale, slowly lowering. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower, really articulating through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. One more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release. Keeping our back still, bringing our hands to side of head. If the knees are too bent or the feet are too close to the body, feel free to walk them out a little bit if that's more comfortable. We're getting ready for some abdominal work. Go ahead and just zip up the core if you let it go. Slight tuck of the chin as we inhale, lift head and shoulders up. Exhale. Now we're looking for quality over quantity, nice and slow here. Inhale, lift up, squeeze those abdominal muscles. Exhale, lower. And we're not pulling on the head. The head is just relaxing into the hands. Inhale, lift, slight tuck of the chin. Exhale, lower. We'll do a few more of these, nice and slow. Inhale, lift up, contract through the abdominal muscles. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. From here, I'll ask us to just bring our arms out to the side, lift the knees up 90 degrees. Taking some windshield wipers. We inhale in the middle. Now let the knees drop over to the right side, a lot or a little. Exhale. Inhale, lift the knees up through the center. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, lift, keeping the shoulders glued to the mat. Exhale to the right. Inhale, lift, controlling the whole way. Exhaling left. Inhale, lift. We'll just do one more each side. Exhale, right, activating those obliques. Inhale, lift. And exhale to the left. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, release the feet. Having activated the obliques, working through some rotation, I'll ask that we now work our way over onto hands and knees, where we'll find ourselves coming into tabletop. In tabletop, let's spend a moment to ensure that we're comfortable on our knees and our wrists. If for whatever reason we're not, we can take fists instead of wrists, and we can always take a pillow or something underneath our knees. Making sure that belly buttons are in, necks are long, let's take our spinal balance, reaching that right arm forward and left leg back, slowly lowering. Inhale, left arm forward, right leg back. Exhale, down. Inhale, right. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left, finding that nice straight line. Exhale. This time I'll ask that we hold it, right arm forward, left leg back, finding songbird. Take the elbow to knee underneath the body in a crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch, rounding the back slightly. Inhale, open, nice long backs. Exhale, crunch, belly bends to spine. Reach and crunch. Inhale, extend. One more time. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. Lowering down. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale, crunch that elbow and knee together. Inhale, reach. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Inhale, reach. Last time, exhale, crunch. Inhale, open long. Take the arm and leg down into tabletop, finding cows and cats. Soft through the elbows as we open the chest, look forward, big inhale. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull the belly buttons in, round the back, tuck the chin, cat. Inhale, opening to cow, lifting tall through crown of head. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the back up to cat. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. And one more time. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Pushing back into child's pose. Feet are close together. Knees can be wide if that's more comfortable. Sending those hips back, reaching those arms long, and we can just tuck the chin. Any version of this that's comfortable today. Couple breaths to assess how we're feeling as we prepare for our half series of mini push-up. We inhale forward into our kneeling plank, shoulders stacked above hands. Exhale, lowering only as far as you're able to control and hold that push-up. Inhale, press the body straight up into our kneeling plank. Exhale, push back into child's pose. We'll do this 3 times. Inhaling forward. Exhale, slow lower. Inhale, press straight up, bellies in, backs flat. Exhale, push back into child's. Inhale, forward. Exhale, slow lower. Inhale, press straight up. Exhale, push back, activating those triceps. Inhale, forward. Exhale, slow lower, shoulders strong. Inhale, press straight up. Exhale, push back. From here, curl our toes. Lift our hips up to down dog. Now take your time as you're getting into it. There can be a lot of sensation that we feel. Starting with pressing away from our hands and down through our toes, let's walk the dog, pedaling the feet in place, right to left foot, toe to heel. What's going on through the feet, the toes, the ankles, the calves? Pay attention to them for just a second. And now as we try to press both feet down a little bit closer to the floor, noticing how close the heels are to the mat, how much sensation we're feeling up the backs of our legs. And now I'll ask that we come forward into plank. We can take the knees to the ground if we'd prefer, as we chaturanga, that slow lower, shoulders in place, elbows brushing rib cage. Inhale, peeling up for cobra. Whether it's baby or full, activate those shoulders, slowly releasing that down, and press ourselves back into down dog or child's pose, whichever you'd prefer. We're going to slowly walk or step our feet all the way up between our hands, coming halfway up to monkey. That means our backs are coming parallel to the floor. Hands can be pressing into our shins or our thighs. I'm focusing on the shoulders here, trying to really squeeze them. So if we've been rounded over or hunched over at a desk all day, this may feel especially intense. Slowly softening those knees. Let's take a big inhale. We'll reach our arms all the way up above head to prayer. And exhale, slowly release down. Give a couple shoulder rolls if that feels good. And we'll stand at the very top of our mat. From here, as I mentioned, a nice shoulder roll. Palms face forward, knees are slightly soft. We're standing strong in mountain, Tadasana. Feet are completely flat on the floor, feeling big toe, little toe, inner and outer edges of the heels. We're zipped up through the inner thighs, strong through the legs, again with that soft knee. Shoulders are rolled down, palms extended forward. We're feeling strong through the core. From here, I'll ask that we take one foot back and then turn both toes out so that we're facing the long edge of our mat. Now with both toes slightly turned out, it resembles a wide squat. We're going to work our way through some sunflowers to activate and take some heat building. Inhale, lift those arms all the way up above our head. Now exhale, hinge at your hips as you squat down like you're picking up something from the floor. Inhale, lift, and exhale, scoop. Back stay flat. Inhale, lift. Exhale. I imagine doing laundry right now. We're picking up all of our towels. Inhale, lift. Exhale, big hinge from the hips. Knees stay over the feet. Just working at your own time. What's wonderful about sunflowers is we're able to start really expanding through the rib cage, mobilizing through the shoulders, working through our hips and knees, activating those bigger thigh muscles. Let's do just 2 more. Get that breathing really working. And on the next one, we'll reach up nice and tall and then just turn the body and step square to the top of our mat again. At which point, we'll plant that right foot even firmer at the top of our mat, stepping that left foot behind us, finding warrior one. Warrior one, hips and shoulders face completely to the front edge of our mat. Our feet are flat on the floor. Back foot can be turned out as much as it needs to be in order to secure that heel down. Arms are coming tall, long up to the ceiling, or for those who prefer, heart center. Let's keep lots of space between ear and shoulder. Zip up through the middle. Press away from that back heel, bending forward towards a 90-degree angle with our front thigh. See if we're able to close our eyes. If we're not closing our eyes today, finding a spot forward that we're able to look at. Taking a few deep breaths. Notice how this feels. Practicing stillness. Feeling strong and supported through the feet, up the legs, tall through the crown of our head. We take one more inhale. Now I want us to exhale, slowly fan down, getting ourselves down through a lunge. We may need to back that foot up a little bit or even take the knee to the floor. When we're down here in a lunge, we're going to twist it. Keeping our left hand beside the front foot, we open our right arm over that right knee. And what this will do is allow us to open up through our shoulder, maybe even stretch through that right hip or into the IT band. Trying to make sure we've kept the big right toe on the floor, the knee stacked right above the ankle. It tends to wander. One more big inhale in our twisted lunge. Exhale, release that hand down. Take our time sweeping back through plank into down dog or child's pose. Now, if ever we'd prefer not to come down to the floor, feel free to stay up, taking your time into Tadasana or mountain pose instead. From here, we'll walk our hands and feet together, coming halfway up to monkey. Taking just that extra opportunity to work on our posture, softening our knees, big inhale, sweep up, and exhale, release our hands. If we need to move to the top of our mat more so, go ahead as we step our right foot behind us. Left foot is now at the top of our mat as we find warrior one. Transition that back foot as much as we need to if you need to change the angle as we bring arms up nice and high or down through heart center, bending into towards a 90-degree angle of that front knee, zipping up through the midsection and relaxing those shoulders. Personally, when I practice warrior one, I want my eyes closed, working on establishing balance with a fairly safe and stable 2-foot lunge. We've got both feet flat and planted equally on the ground. A little bit of fidgeting as the muscles adjust to maintain that upright posture. One more inhale here. Exhale, release the hands as we waterfall down, finding both hands coming down into our lunge. Again, some of us may need to back that foot up, even coming down onto the knee if you prefer. Twisted lunge, that right hand stays beside the foot as we bring our left arm up nice and high. Keeping the knee stacked above the ankle, finding any modification you'd prefer. If you're staying tall in your warrior one and twisting this way, or if we're down on the ground. Just taking 2 more big breaths, addressing the left side of our body now. On your exhale, release the hand down. We can sweep back into plank and press back into down dog or child. Couple big breaths, checking in with how we're feeling. And we can walk or step our feet all the way up together to the top of our mat as we come halfway up to monkey again. Softening the knees, big inhale, lift up. Now from the raised position in prayer, I want us to soften the knees as we bring our hands back about 45 degrees into an airplane. Knees are a little bit bent, backs are perfectly flat. Shoulders are squeezed together. We're reaching those arms, extending through the fingertips with palms facing down preferably. Working the tricep muscles here. Backs are really engaging. Belly buttons are pulling in. We feel a little bit up the hamstrings. Those knees are soft. Holding airplane for just 2 more breaths. On our next exhale, soften the knees, drop the arms. Now big inhale, reach tall. And exhale, release. Amazing. Readjusting if we need to as we step to the top of our mat. We'll be taking our right foot forward into warrior one, our left foot back. Now, as we step into the warrior one, arms find their place, shoulders down, and we're repeating that same posture, holding warrior one. My eyes are closed, noticing our balance. Using this to transition through warrior two, we take our arms out wide, turning the belly button and chest towards the side, bending in towards 90 degrees over that right foot. Take our shoulders down, our bellies in, and that knee wants to open back. Let's keep bending into our knee just a little bit more here, really strong through those arms. Preparing for reverse warrior, we're going to be opening up the rib cage, taking that right hand at the front, lift it up. So we're lifting away from our right knee, bending a little bit further into your right knee. Really open up that right side as we lift the hand tall to the sky. Amazing side stretch as we work that lateral extension. Little stretch through the groin as we continue to hold those warrior two legs. Taking one more inhale here. Exhale, lowering down. Slowly, waterfall or step to the top of your mat. If you're waterfalling down in plank, we're going to prepare to come down into our half series. We can start by pressing back into down dog or child's pose. If you're choosing to stand at the top of your mat, take a few really nice big breaths. If you're working with me, we'll take an inhale to come forward into plank. Exhale, slow chaturanga, come down. Inhale, scoop up to cobra. Exhale, press back, down dog or child. One more time. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, pressing back. Walking our hands and feet together. Coming halfway up to monkey. Watch those backs. Little deadlift action every time we're hinging at our hips. Pulling those shoulders together. Now, before we continue, everyone together sitting into chair pose. Rock the weight back into your heels. Hands can come forward. Knees are about hips width distance apart. We're coming into a twisted chair flow. I want us to take an inhale at the top. Now exhale, hands come into heart center. Inhale here. Take your right elbow. Exhale over to your left knee. Move per breath. Inhale, center. Exhale, left elbow to right knee. Gentle twist. Inhale, trying to keep your feet and knees perfectly still. Exhale, right. Inhale, middle. Exhale, left. Lots of heat building. Inhale, middle. Exhale, right. One more time. Inhale, middle. Exhale, left. Inhale, middle. Exhale, get lower. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, release. Very nice. Take your time as we step the left foot to the top of our mat. Right leg behind us into warrior one. Pressing our feet firmly into the ground. Body face squarely to the front. Shoulders down. Bending into that front left knee. Choosing whether to look forward or find our eyes closed. And whether our heart rate has increased, I want us to find composure. Control your inhale. Control your exhale. Or do we feel tall? Do we feel strong and stable? On our next exhale, opening up to warrior two. Switch the body so that we're bending into that left knee. The right toes likely face straight to the front. Sometimes we need a little bit more power and we'll turn the toes a little bit at an angle towards the front as well, giving us more pressure in the back heel to push forward into that front knee. Keep that knee open, keep the body really strong and stacked. We're holding warrior two to prepare for reverse warrior. Flipping our left palm up to the sky, big inhale, lift tall. That right hand can be just light on the back leg or into the back pocket. Keep bending into our left knee. Keep lifting tall, opening that side space in the left side. Couple big breaths. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly fanning down. Choose to spiral all the way down or step to the top of our mat. If you're stepping back with me, finding plank, pressing into down dog or child's pose. Choosing to hold the stretch or joining me in 2 rounds of our half series. Inhale, flowing forward through plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, scooping up cobra. Exhale, pressing back, down dog or child's pose. One more time. Inhale, forward. Working on your breathing as we exhale. Inhale, cobra lift. Exhale, pressing back, down dog or child. All together, we step up to the top of our mat. Coming halfway up to monkey. Give the head just a chance to settle with our blood flow. Find our posture. Softening those knees. Big inhale, lift all the way up to prayer. And exhale, release. Very nice. Preparing for our next and final warrior series. We're going to step into our warrior flying position with our right foot at the top of our mat, left foot behind us. From here, I'll ask that we bring our arms out to the side. While our arms are out to the side, we're getting ready to come into warrior 3. Warrior 3 is like airplane, but now we're lifting one foot up off the ground. With our arms nice and out to the side, we're going to lift up tall into that front right leg. That left leg, balance, may come up off the ground, or maybe we leave it as a kickstand behind us, tapping it down whenever we need it. This is airplane or warrior 3. To make it a little bit more, keep that right supporting knee soft. Take that back foot, I like to flex it. Hips and shoulders stay square as we hinge at the hips, leaving backs perfectly flat, taking ourselves towards parallel. I like the arms out to the side, offering lots of support. Please feel free to take them back like we did in airplane, practicing them at a 45, or to make it even more challenging, you can reach them forward. Keeping those shoulders and hips both even, left to right side. On our next inhale, we're coming back into warrior 1. Ready? Lift those arms up nice and tall. Finding pyramid. Straightening out the legs, hands come down to the front thigh as we hinge over. Finding our forward fold stretch, a hamstring stretch. As we slide down that leg, just notice how it feels, keeping our backs as flat as possible. Left and right hips are equally rotated to the front, trying not to open up. And we breathe. My absolute favorite hamstring stretch. Holding our hands up high, or taking them down low, using props or equipment if we need to. Couple breaths. Softening that knee, we gently walk up our thigh and take our time stepping up to the top of our mat. Releasing those feet if we need to, taking ourselves at the top, rolling the shoulders down, sweeping that right foot behind us into warrior 1. We've got our left foot planted at the top of our mat for our final warrior series. Reaching those arms up tall, shoulders down as we bend towards 90 degrees with that left knee, pressing that back foot away, really activating through the core, finding that center, shoulders down, away from our ears. Ready for warrior 3? Let's take our arms out to the side. Gently, we press away from that back foot, lifting tall on that left supporting leg. Maybe our balance requires us to keep that back foot down, working on that single leg balance, just tapping the foot every now and then. Otherwise, we'll flex that back foot as we hinge at our hips, working our body towards parallel. Belly's in. Keep the right hip and shoulder equal distance away from the floor as the left hip and shoulder. And now we can play with the arms, whether they stay out to the sides, come back into that airplane position, or forward into our flying Superman. Soft supporting knee, notice all the fidgeting, all the self-correction. Getting ready, that next inhale, we'll take ourselves upright, exhaling into warrior one. Amazing. Hands come down, finding the front thigh into pyramid, straightening up the leg, not locking it, little softness in the knee as we slide forward. Amazing release. Oh my goodness. My absolute favorite posterior chain stretch. I hope you're also loving this. We'll take our hands down on either side of the foot, or keeping them resting on the hips, the thighs, or the shin. If you've got yoga blocks, they're wonderful to put your hands on here, allowing us to stay just a little bit higher, reach a little bit longer. Allow the exhale to relax our body. Slowly softening that front knee, taking our time as we walk up that leg. And we'll work our way to the top of our mat. From the top of our mat, we step one foot back so that we're facing the side of our mat, preparing for our standing straddle splits. Toes face out to the front, soft knees. Big inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Hands can stay on the thighs, the shins, the mat, or I like to work them out in front of me to pull away from the shoulders, the back, and open up the hamstrings in through the hips. Finding where is working the best for you today with regards to that hand position. Noticing maybe you need to step your feet wider or narrower. Sometimes we even need to play with the position if we rotate, open at the hips a little bit. Choosing to stay here and practice that stillness, or use a little bit of a rock right to left to really get in through those leg muscles. I want us to explore. I want us to become intimate and familiar with our body today. Slow down your breathing as we work through those legs. Take our time as we find our neutral position here. Walking those hands in, softening the knees. We're going to come all the way up. Take as much time as you need to roll that body up. If you're like me and get lightheaded easily, take an extra little second here as we walk our hands and feet together, finding that top edge of the mat. And let's find mountain. Feet are at the top, shoulders rolled down, legs are slightly soft, head is tall, leaving our necks long and our collars open. We're just finding a couple of breaths. Now with soft knees, we take a big inhale, reach our arms up above head. Exhale, swan dive all the way down, softening our knees as we step our feet all the way back to plank so we can lower the body completely onto the stomach using chaturanga. Coming down here wherever we need to, working on those graceful transitions if you're able to. Keeping our hands under shoulders for now as we prepare to find ourselves in locust. With locust, we'll reassume the hand position of airplane. We bring our arms back behind us, pull our shoulders together, squeeze the abdominal muscles, lifting the chest. Now when we're ready, inhale, lift those arms back. Lift the chest a little bit higher, and then see if we're able to lift those legs by squeezing the glutes. Holding this flying Superman or locust. Necks are long and in line with the rest of the spine. We're trying to lift those thighs up off the ground, reach those shoulder blades a little bit higher and tighter together. One more big inhale, exercising those back muscles, and exhale, release them down. Hands come underneath the shoulders or back behind the ribs, peeling ourselves up into a slightly bigger cobra stretch. From here, I'm pressing back in through child's pose. Try to relax the shoulders as we extend the arms, releasing the head down to the floor, preparing for thread the needle. We'll bring our right arm underneath that left shoulder, and we'll try to lay down into the right shoulder or right ear, wherever we're comfortable in today. Just noticing that range of motion. Any stretch through that right upper back and through the shoulder. And we'll slowly release through the middle, taking that left arm underneath instead, laying into that left ear. Releasing the arm forward, taking our time coming up through tabletop and then swiveling the legs around. As we sweep our legs around, we're going to prepare to come into a reverse or incline plank, exercising the erector spinae muscles, the quadratus lumbar, also running through the backs, making sure that we've really fine-tuned and polished off those upper back postural muscles today. We start by taking our hands directly beneath our shoulders, making sure that we're not leaning into the shoulders, but we're still puffing up the chest, pressing down and away through our hands, exercising the abdominal muscles. We can keep our knees bent. In fact, I'm going to do it this way because I'm taking a little bit of care with my back right now. You can also, if you'd prefer, keep your legs straight and dig down through your heels. So using either option, longer lever, longer leg is a little bit more challenging. So with our feet digging in through those heels, I want us to lift the glutes, squeeze the butt, keep those arms pressing away, holding our position here in this upside down table or incline plank. As you hold it, you may find an intense stretch through the front of the shoulders, lots of activation through our triceps, often a weaker muscle group. Keeping your glutes activated, squeeze your glutes, lift them up. This is helping stretch the front of our hip flexors and through your iliopsoas. Also activating through those backs, as I mentioned. We'll take just one more big inhale. And then exhale, slowly release that down. Coming off of our hands, give our wrists just a little bit of a roll. We're going to be stretching our wrists next. Taking yourself into a butterfly position. Always nice to stretch the hips through butterfly. We'll press the soles of feet together. Now, how we're going to stretch our wrists, which we can all benefit from, is just by gently taking the fingers in front of us, exposing the wrist and the forearm, and then just pressing the heels of the hands away. It's a really nice way of stretching through those fingers, through the flexors in the wrist. We can control the pressure that we apply. We can leave our elbows a little bit soft. And now we'll work on stretching the opposite side as we just release the hands first and then turn them over, pressing now the knuckles down into the ground. This one can be a little bit more awkward. Pressing the knuckles and then trying to press the top of the wrist or the top of the hand completely down to the ground. Again, try to just leave your elbows a little bit soft. It's nice because you can control the pressure. We're not overstretching. And just releasing those extensors, those tight forearm muscles. Now we'll release those again. Go ahead and give a little wiggle through the fingers, maybe some more rolling. We don't stretch our wrists and fingers enough, do we? Working through that. And now as we're still sitting in butterfly, I'll ask that we just hold the ankles now, sitting up even taller. Give a little pressure, a little tug and pull by resisting from feet and hands. And then hinge at the hips, back stays flat. We can keep the elbows tucked in or press them against the knees. And I like to just tuck the chin, giving a little extra stretch through the neck. Couple big, slow breaths. Slowly rolling up, taking those knees together. Right knee stays in, left foot extends out. You can keep the right knee on the inside or bring it to the outside of the knee as we take our last rotation, our final twist, seated spinal twist. Hugging the knee with the left elbow, look over that right shoulder. We may feel a stretch come through the right hip, maybe up through the thigh, or perhaps just primarily through the upper back into the shoulders. Notice we want to sit so tall. One more big inhale. Exhale, rotating forward and switching legs at your own time. Finding the position with the foot on the ground, the kneecap straight up to the ceiling, and then rotating with that right elbow, giving your left leg a hug puffing through the chest, working on all of those cues we've really attended to today with our posture, a little bit of awareness through correcting the upper back positioning. One more big inhale. And exhale, release to the front, releasing those legs, finding our position for final relaxation. Whether we're choosing to stay up in a seated position upright, or you can join me in establishing that final resting spot in Shavasana. Now, if we're coming all the way down to our backs, a restorative position could be feet together, knees apart in butterfly. We could also assume a restorative posture for the lower back with knees together, feet apart. If none of that interests you and you'd like to take traditional Shavasana, we allow the legs to come long on the ground. Open up the feet, expressing external rotation at the hip. Relaxing our abdominal muscles. Letting the diaphragm comfortably expand on each full intake of breath. And exhale, feel the abdominal muscles contract with the diaphragm as everything comes smaller. Hands can rest on the belly or come open with palms facing up towards the ceiling, knuckles resting on the floor. Notice the back of our head is supported on our mat with the nose pointing straight up to the sky. Releasing tension from the necks and shoulders. Continuing to deepen and slow our breathing. Noticing how we're feeling. Hopefully calm and relaxed after having released tension with our rotations and twists. After correcting our posture with some upper back strengthening and some chest and hip flexor opening. Maybe we feel slightly longer, a little bit looser. We'll spend just a couple more, even slower breaths if we're able to. Noticing our heart rate has fallen. Maybe our body has already started to cool. I want us to relish in this feeling of relaxation. Know how this feels. And remember, the next time we feel tensed or stressed or overwhelmed, we can assume this position, take a few breaths, or we can even take another class. Starting to wiggle our fingers and our toes, just checking back in with the room. We can start to roll those wrists and ankles in circular motions. And gently bringing those knees into the chest, giving ourselves that last big hug. If it feels good, we can draw circles with our knees or rock side to side, kneading out any lingering knots in the back, squeezing out any residual tension from our hips. And slowly work our way over through our sides into that upright sitting position. And with that seated posture, whether it's butterfly, easy seated pose, or lotus, I'll ask that we remain seated tall for just a few more moments, stretching out our neck and shoulders, taking that last big inhale. We drop the right ear over and we can press our left hand away, releasing any tension from those upper shoulder areas into that side of the neck or back of the neck. Inhaling through the middle, exhale over to the left side with the ear, and we can press the right arm away, just adding some tension, allowing some release, lengthening through the side into the shoulder. Inhaling through the middle. And taking now our last goodbye. We'll bring our arms up above head to prayer. Big inhale. Exhale, coming down through heart center. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. And I hope to see you next week as well. Have a wonderful week. Bye.
Thanks, Jackie. See you next week.
Thank you. See you next week.